Hello, everyone. Welcome back. This is Craggy Brook Witchery, and I've got another little unboxing to do today. And as you can see here, this is the FF Solesio. And I don't know too much about this deck. It is produced by artisantarot.com, and I'll include the information down below in my details. But it's a limited edition deck. And I'm interested to see what the backs look like because this is a very unique pattern on the box. And it does say, apparently it includes 2 coins. So they're probably card coins. We'll have to see. I've ripped this off a little bit here. Now it does say that this deck, it shows trumps that have been restored. And because it's the trumps, not the minors, it's just a wee little thing. And you can see how it fits in the hand so nicely. And if I take one of my regular tarot card sizes, you can see how much smaller it is. But I gotta think that this is going to be fun. And I have seen some videos and comments online that, not necessarily about this deck, but that people who have the Marseille system tend to use just the trumps because they're the picture ones. It's easier for people to read with. So I'm just going to pause the camera, rip off this plastic, move the little label, and let's see what's in here. Well, that went fairly easily. I've moved the label onto the front of the box. Actually, that's the back. But because it opens this way, let's just see what this box is like. Well, it still has the drop down, which is fabulous. And I can get my fingers on it, and oh, it's a nice little one. So let's put the box aside. And we do have the unique backs here. I wonder where they got that from. Really, really different. Okay, there we're starting off with the Fool. You know, it's nice cardstock again. It looks like the colors are vibrant, very clean. And a restored version, this is going to be fun. So we have our 22 trump cards, and it did say 2 coins. There it is there. So let's see what this little card says before we jump in. Get this guy all ready. It says a restoration. Get it in focus, come on. Of the trump cards based, as I say, on the FF Solesio from 1865. Hand restored and adapted by, you can see the name there. So it's a joint effort between, I'm going to say, Christina and William. And they work hard at Artisan Tarot to bring us some of these fabulous decks. And I'm not sure how you say that. I'd have to hear someone else say that. But let's zoom in and we'll take a look. And you can, as I say, see how much smaller it is to a regular tarot card. And I think I can zoom in a little bit more and not lose any of that image. I do like the colors. I think that it's very fresh. I just finished reviewing Alejandro's decks with all the coffee stains and things to make it look old. This one looks fresh, clean, and new. And I think in their presentation on Artisan site, they had it on a blue cloth, and it really did look quite nice. So I'm going to have to experiment because you know me, I do like to have a cloth that really allows the deck to shine. So there is our Fool. There's no number on it for the 0. And some people put them as 0 and some put them as 22. So we'll just see what we get here. So we do get a number on the magician. And I'm looking at all the symbols on the table. There's some new ones there. And that is quite unique here, this one. Don't know what that is. I can see the coins and everything else. And it's interesting with this little bit of yellow here. Like a coin has dropped. Interesting outfit. I like the little neck piece. Okay. Number 2. This would normally in my versions be the high priestess, but because we're sticking to the old, this is La Papessa. So she still has her book and the veils behind her, the drapes. But I'm really, really liking the colors. It's very inviting. Okay, that would be our Empress with her scepter and her shield. Interesting that the one wing we can see with the blue there. It's not overly ornate for an empress, and I noticed that with the high priestess. These are quite approachable images. And our emperor, again, one of the wings, not quite complete there. There's a little bit of a missing line. But these imperfections, they make it. I like the throne. It's a little bit different. And again, it's the look on the face. So very approachable. Doesn't have that hard, stern. And sometimes this card comes up for the father. And this looks like a gentleman, or if he was the father in a reading, that, you know, you could talk to him. He looks quite eager to listen. Our 5 for our Pope. Quite interesting to see how the Pope itself is kind of large and these 2 supplicants here are quite tiny. He has all the power. We still have the common image here with the 3 levels on the crown. Our Lovers card. That cloud and the energy coming from it is quite neat. And it almost looks like the gentleman in the middle is being torn, which is, you know, he has to make a choice. So it really has that feeling of he's torn. But it almost looks like he's been lifted by these 2 ladies. His feet seem to not quite be on the ground. Our Chariot. Now these horses look a little friendlier than some of the decks. Their eyes are sort of interesting as they look at each other. Our 8, normally strength, this is justice. And there is our Hermit, really shining his light into the world. His hair almost looks like a feathered helmet. Okay, our Wheel of Fortune. It's nice that some of the old decks can be restored for us to use, get our hands on. So this is 11, and this would be the Strength card. Looks like she's taming that lion. The Hanged Man. I always like to see him turn the other way too. Quite neat. Okay, 13. Look at the face on the Death card there. And he's got some hair, what appears to be hair. He's gathering the souls from the body parts below. Has a strength to it. There is our Temperance. And that is a strong flow of energy from one cup to the other there. She's really intently working on her, well, I don't know what to call it there. Moderation, definitely, but with a severity feeling to it. And we don't have the 1 foot in the water and 1 on the land in this one. Good wings. There is our Devil card. And those little imps, they do look like they are suffering somewhat. Interesting with the strength in the belly there, almost the sun, the radiating. Okay. Oh, and I do like his little fork. That's good. Okay, 16. We got the Tower. It's nice that you can see bigger images of the people. Okay, we've got our Star card. Good sized bird. And she's doing her tasks too. And how many stars do we have there? 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. We have the Moon card. Oh, he's ducking down there. Let me pull that back so we can get a better view. La Luna. And even the dogs look a little more approachable. The moon, I love the face in it, the 2 towers. I think this is a deck that I could take out when I'm comfortable and read for other people with. Even though I just did a fair, and I found people not looking at the cards. They're looking into my eyes. So it really doesn't matter to them what deck you bring out. It matters to you which one speaks. And this one seems to speak. So there is our Sun card. Okay, our Judgment card. Sometimes there's a little baby in the foreground as well, or a toddler, and several of these caskets where the lid has come off. And here we just have the 1. And the 21. And then we're going to get to the card, and maybe there's some information there about that. But that is our World card with the 4 elements around the corners, the laurel wreath. And there we have our coin card. So I'm going to have to figure that out, and maybe William can help me. Send me a little note and talk to me about this. When I think of the 2 of coins, I think of balance. Maybe that can be shuffled into the deck, and then we can look to the cards left or right to see where the balance is needed. Very interesting. So, no, I don't see anything in here talking about the coin, but I think we can come up with our own if there isn't any information. So let's do a little shuffle and see how these cards really work. Just going to pull some things out of the way for a minute. And let's get to it. They sit nice. So you could, when it's a smaller deck, I sometimes just take sections and shuffle this way. I know William said the cardstock on the decks can take some abuse, so feel free to use them often and shuffle them. He did some rifle shuffling with his. Let's just see. Yep, that can be done. Now, I did notice at the fair that not everybody likes to shuffle their cards. So I tell them, maybe make a pile, smush it around. And I do read reversals, so we'll see if anything should pop up in that way. Okay, and we'll just put it out there for maybe what this deck wants to talk to us about. Let's just see. I'm going to have to adjust the camera maybe a little bit in a second. We're leading off with our Emperor, the Fool, and the Wheel of Fortune. So hang tight and I'll adjust this. Okay, so I'm back again and I'm looking at these cards with I put it out there, what would the deck want to talk about? And to me, the Emperor is usually about control, organization, and planning. So I'm going to say, I'll mention a little bit about the other two. So if the Magician comes up, I usually look at the skills and talents and also communication and demonstrating that, how you get that across. I know some people look at him, if he's reversed, as manipulative, but he can be a bit of a trickster. And if we go on to the Wheel of Fortune, for me, that's good fortune. That's things that are speeding up. With a 10, it's a change. And fate and destiny could be at hand. So if I put it all together, I think I'd be saying something like, the deck wants to have us, I guess, plan, understand, and be in control of how we bring the information out to people, how we share it, how we communicate it. And there is a talent in bringing that information out when you're doing a reading, and a little bit of tact. And then with this one, it's sort of saying, go with the flow. And it could be a fortunate contact if we can take these cards into our hands, communicate the information, and just get the message out, get it flowing, and get that smoothness that the trickster often has. So be in control of our skill and get it out there and let the energy flow. Quite like that. And then we could look at adding up this 10, 4, and 1 is 15. And the Devil card is, for me, very much about control. So we need to be in control when we're using these cards and clarifying the messages. I could go on, but I think I'm going to enjoy, and I'm going to enjoy the deck, but I was thinking I must thank William again for the chance to review this deck, to bring it to my subscribers. I hope you're enjoying this Marseille. It's just nice to have so many different options. And whether you like Marseille or Tarot, let me know. But I think that this is a very approachable deck. And I think you would enjoy it. Just have to give it a chance and let it communicate to you. So, everyone, have a fabulous day. And as I say, the details will be below on how you can find this deck at Artisan Tarot. And sending everyone happy thoughts.